Mitchell T. Tracy. I'm the moderator for today. I'm also a candidate for Clark County Commission District F. Today we have our panel, Robert Foust, U.S. Army, VIP member, Kofoworola, marriage and family therapist, and Michael McDonald. He's the VIP Legislative Council. We'd like to thank our supporters, Rod Q for County Treasurer, Michael Broadway Real Estate, Real Water, and Lakeside Business Suites. Today we have Trustee Clark County School District D, Kevin L. Chop, and if you go ahead and open up with 2 minutes, please.
Well, thank you, moderator. I appreciate it, and panel, and Veterans in Politics. I just want to say thank you for the Veterans in Politics. I know all that you do in this town. It's one of the best organizations, and they support their veterans, and they actually inform their veterans. And veterans, thank you so much for your service, by the way. I'm Kevin Child. I've been in this town since 1975. I'm a graduate from Bonanza High School, where I went to high school, and I graduated, and then I went into the workforce. I was a kid that struggled through school. I wasn't the best student, but I made it through school. I know the importance of school. I ran for assembly districts, I ran for county commissioner, and I saw a little about schools that I needed. We were 50th ranked. Well, I ran 3 years ago, and from 3 years ago, we are now from 49th ranked to 38th ranked in the nation in school districts. We are still the lowest funded in the United States. I love what I do with the schools. I love our children. I helped start the Graffiti Coalition. I was on the Southern Nevada Community Gang Task Force. I also was a volunteer firefighter back in 2002, 3, 4, and 5, and I was a volunteer firefighter for the Clark County Fire Department. So again, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm here for you to give me questions about the Clark County School District and why I want to run, because I want to continue my successes at the Clark County School District. So again, thank you so much, panelists.
Thank you. And questions we asked, and you have 2 minutes to go ahead and answer them. Go ahead, please, Michael.
Mike McDonald, VIP at Legislative Council. If elected again, Mr. Child, would you, what would you do to help support the children that are going through divorces and different avenues? There's a lot of social issues that are being caused by anxiety, depression, mental illness, criminal history, drug use, teen pregnancy, mass shootings are occurring because of the breakdown of the family. If re-elected, what could you do to help spurn the educations of these children and to help them go through school even though they're going through emotional turmoil at home?
Well, number one is that we have family engagement services and continue to put certain things in place. And as you know, that school's there to learn. Do kids bring their social, emotional problems in our school? Absolutely, because about 60% of our kids are on welfare, in poverty, which is really terrible. That's all your urban cities throughout America, which hurts the family. And of course, what I've done is ask for financial literacy to be taught in elementary school and middle school. The only trustee that's ever asked for that in the history of the Clark County School District, because we know financial literacy is a key to successes in our kids. When I'm going back to, I've asked for that we would start teaching social emotional learning in our schools. But you have to know that we have the shortest school district in America, the school day. We have only 6 hours and 11 minutes to teach our kids. Again, that's the shortest. Our state legislators only give us $5,715 per student funded to that student. That's per student funding, which most people call it DSA, which is the Distributive Student Account. And with federal taxes, we get a total of $8,715. Our dollars are very few, so it's really hard. We have to have very smart ways to make sure that we help our children, and it's getting the outside entities to help us with that. But we can like I've asked to do ACEs testing, and we're doing pilot programs. That's the Adverse Childhood Experience, which is, you can take it online. It's 10 questions, and it shows childhood trauma. That way we know how to diagnose that child, and that we can help curb the behavior. Because when we have those over 63% of those kids, about 36% of those kids have no families at home. Well, guess what? We inherit all that through our doors. and whatever we can do, and I'll continue to fight for those children, because I know that, and hopefully other entities will come in and help us with our children, because it is a problem throughout America. So again, I will fight for all those children.
Thank you.
Okay, Kofoworola, marriage and family therapist. So my question begins with, I understand that you said we went from 50 to 38, which is good. However, dealing with the adolescents that I deal with in all across the board, whether I was working in the school district or as a therapist or working in the county as doing evaluations on adolescents who've been in in detention, my concern is what I'm finding all across the board is all these kids are experiencing anxiety and struggling in the classes because they are not understanding the work. So I understand this new Common Core thing is supposed to be the most awesome thing ever, but a lot of these kids are experiencing anxiety and stressed out and feel like they can't understand and aren't getting the basic understanding and knowledge that they need to be able to move on through each class each year to feel like they can even graduate high school. Like most of my kids are worried about graduating high school because they feel like they cannot understand the work. And then it's bad enough that the parents can't even help the kids because of this new Common Core. So that's a problem. So what are we gonna do about that?
Well, number one is we don't have enough money to do Common Core, so it's picked and choose throughout the district, which is a very shame. And remember, I'm not a Common Core person. It's going back to the basics. And when you talk about stress in the classroom, you have both spectrums. Remember, you have the high intelligent person that's in that classroom that stresses about their grades, and then you have the economical challenged child that struggles through that. And then you got the middle that we have certain things, and you have to understand is that every child's education is not a one size fits all. And most of your children are pictorial. So again, and then remember, we're inheriting stuff that comes from the home, which is unfair to our teachers really. I mean, when we have that, and we have over 15,000 home challenged youth in the school district, 15,000, that's pretty sad. And then when we have our grades and something goes bad, remember, then we get blamed for it. This is why I make ambassadors out of people, and I'm able to talk in front of people to show them where we need the help at and where we're failing and what we can do about it, because it's not all the school district's fault. It's not the teacher's fault. Again, we have a shortage of therapists in all schools throughout America. It's because of what we pay them. So what happens is if you're going to you pay your college tuition and it's $65,000 to get a degree, and you're only going to get a $40,000 job, does that make sense? Are you going to get into the profession? And that's what we pay an average teacher right now. And a therapist, we probably pay around $50,000. And your debt's $65,000. We have to take a look at how we do it. We recruit people for military. Well, how about we recruit people for like psychologists to become? We pay their college, and they have to sign a 10-year contract with their district to make sure that, because it's a dying breed out there and it's hurting our children. And the profession's not fun anymore. And we need to rejuvenate that, and we have to value our kids. Because if we're not valuing our teachers or anyone in the district and in the workforce, you don't value your kiddos, your students, the lives of a child. So again, I appreciate that question.
Robert Foust, U.S. Army VIP member. So where do you stand on the third restroom?
I'm against it, and I've always have. We need guidelines. Every child should be safe. Wait, no. You wanted, the third, I'm sorry. I thought, excuse me.
Transgender.
Well, all right, so you be direct, more direct.
Are we going to take money and build a third restroom on the school grounds?
I'm really against that because it takes kids out of educational money. And if the state wants to do it, and it should be the state, if they want to mandate it, I'm against it because, again, we have a shortage of educational dollars. There should be guidelines, and this is what I've made a suggestion. If any child feels different, they can use the nurse's bathroom. We have a nurse's bathroom. I've been in many schools that the nurse's bathroom has a shower, it has a toilet, it has a sink, and usually it's full of books and stuff. So we need to clean that up and do it as call it a family restaurant. Again, every child matters, and we need guidelines, not a policy. So again, we need to be careful treating one kid better than another, but yet give them an option that they can feel safe. That's one of our biggest things, is making sure that our children come in school and they're safe, have a safe and respectful learning environment.
All right, I have another question. Robert Foust again, U.S. Army VIP member. So where are we at on disciplining children in the school district today? Because basically they don't call the police, and it becomes an arbitrary situation, and it does become explosive.
Well, can you hone down the question a little bit more? Because I know we have, since out the time when somebody's got in school, we have behavior issues, so when
Well,
you really...
you do, and you have school teachers that are basically administering punishment, or a school administrator administering punishment when maybe the police should be called in and maybe the child didn't even do something.
Well, number one is we have protocol at the Clark County School District when we have a behavioral system, a behavioral child, and we have protocol, and some of them don't follow protocol. This is why I've asked to look at our policy even more, so we have it stricter. Because again, we have a police department, we have our own police department at the Clark County School District. And they're not afraid. Once they get called, they do the investigations. We have detectives, and if it's got to go higher, we use Metro, by the way, and the DA's office. Again, we need to pay attention. And all kids, they act out, and it comes from the home usually. And again, the time in that classroom is very critical. And if you have 30 kids and one acts up, 29 kids miss instructional. We have to find better ways of helping our teachers to cope with some of these behaviors, and how to negotiate with some of these behaviors, because not all kids are that bad. I mean, we don't know what they went through on that day right before they come to school that morning. Because again, after that bell rings, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in that neighborhood, in that household, that child brings in the next day. So again, we want to watch how we do behavior, and how we treat it, and how we use the punishment. And I would like to not have any teacher, do the punishment that they're supposed to get the second, like a dean. So, and if they're not following policy, shame on them, and we need to look at it.
Okay, Kofoworola, so marriage and family therapist. So, and just to clear the record, I'm not blaming the teachers for the education. I'm just stating that the kids, like, I understand there's home issues, but the kids are more concerned about the schoolwork and understanding it. So yes, you've got home environments, but when they feel like they can't understand the work and the parent can't help them because we're doing a new system, for me that's a concern. But you've already addressed that. So I want to piggyback off of what you're seeing with, teachers following through on, if they're not supposed to, they're supposed to get the dean and the school police, and kids have behavioral issues. So me, myself, working as an SED teacher's assistant for 2 years in the school district and 3 years as a substitute teacher, why is it so hard, or why is it, and I'm speaking from personal experience. I had a kid, I did not want the IEP taken away. I knew this kid had behavioral issues, I knew it wasn't gonna go away, knew he was calm for a minute, but it was gonna resurface again. The school district, despite me expressing he needs to have it, don't take away his IEP, took it, that's certain school, I can't say school district, that certain school took away the IEP. Now this mother is having a hard time getting it back implemented. Why is it that that certain school or other schools feel like they want to take the IEP away, and then the child begins to have issues again? It's a struggle to get the IEP back in place.
And guess what, Ms. Osa, I know that there's certain circumstances, I can't go into that detail, that's just one. Because there was a reason probably why they took the IEP away. And remember, some of those IEPs, parents used to get extra money at home from welfare. It's a specially challenged child. I don't like to call them special ed kids. I'm a person that, I don't call homeless.
Individual education plan.
Yes. And the thing of it is, remember, I can't, but we have a system in place, and we have people that report, and they research everything. Again, I can't answer you, but I just hope that child didn't get hurt, and the services to that child should have been if it needed that service. Again, it was another, remember there's always 3 sides to every story, and I deal with this every day, and I'm sure you've been, and I thank you for being a substitute and a therapist, because you see it on every given day. Something could go wrong, but then again, remember there's 3 sides to every story.
Michael McDonald, so I've got it's kind of a inclusive question. We have a couple from Facebook as well. So being in charge of the school district, as being a trustee, you are in charge of our children's future and training them to right. One of the things though is the teachers that we employ, sometimes we go for quantity over quality. Do you guys drug test your teachers? And another question that was asked is what do you guys do to prevent sexual abuse or taking advantage of children by teachers?
I'm glad somebody's that's on Facebook, because I was the first trustee that ever asked to have a sexual misconduct policy that we just adopted 488, and it lays out guidelines, and we do videos and video training for children, for students, for mom and dad, and for our teachers and admin. So I'm very proactive when it comes to stuff like that. And remember, they're human beings. We're the largest employer in the state of Nevada. And I wish I could say that everybody's perfect. Guess what? They're human beings. But if we can put little things in place to prevent any child from getting hurt, I'm all about it. So again, hopefully I addressed that question.
And do you drug test the teachers?
Oh, they do random. Remember, they are licensed by the state, and then they do a background check on them when they come over to Clark County School District. We also do another background check on them. So again, there's 2 background checks before they enter our school district.
And one more question off of that is if somebody does raise concerns of a teacher being drunk or high or something or being inappropriate with children, what steps do you take to
Well, number one is they have an investigation if somebody turns them in, and they go through an investigative process with the principal and with the associate superintendent.
And you guys investigate all this?
Absolutely.
Thank
yes.
you. Robert?
Robert Foust, U.S. Army VIP member. Where do you stand on arming teachers?
Arming teachers, I think, I always say I'm a CCW person, but after talking to our officers, they're really against it, and I can see their point of it. I don't mind somebody, but in a classroom, if a kid ever got a hold of a gun, how would we feel about that? Because let's face it, we're all human beings. We all make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but all it takes is one slip up. What I want is a cop in every elementary school, a cop in every middle school, and 2 at every high school. And I don't think you'd have to worry about that. And we also train our teachers when we have active shooters, by the way. So I mean, they're very trained, and a lot of them don't want them. They don't want them in their classroom. It's a disruption. And believe it or not, I want that class to be respectful and be safe.
Thank you. Robert Foust, U.S. Army VIP member. And where do you stand on ESAs?
I'm all about school choice, but it's got to be the same playing field. When you have charter schools and private schools, they get to pick and choose their audience. Remember, we don't. We get everything and anything. And remember, so again, if there'd be the difference, but I don't want to, I want to be held to a standard, and we have, when you talk about school choice, 3 schools in my district, elementary school, middle school, and high school, magnet schools, outperform the top gate school in Nevada. So if you want school choice, we have school choice. We have magnet schools, 38. Next year we'll have over 43 magnet schools. So I'm really proud of it.
What about the ESA though?
I support you. That's a choice. They can use their money, but I'm going to build a better mousetrap.
Are you?
I'm done. We brought that down there.
Mike McDonald, so 2-part question. So just to clarify for the record, our schools are already protected. A lot of people don't believe that our schools are protected. We have armed school police that patrol and protect our schools. Is that correct?
Correct. We only have 124 officers right now. with lieutenants, captains, and sergeants, it's a total of 164. We have 357 schools. We have a shortage of officers at our school. Our elementary schools, I've talked to this on media, I'm a very safety-oriented person. Because if your child or you don't think we're safe, you're not gonna bring your child to our school. I want them to be safe. So I've been really lobbying for, like I said, an officer, and they're real officers. They're not just, I mean, they're trained, everything's done. In fact, we do more training than Metro does in active shooters and all that stuff.
Cool. And another question is the school programs and extracurricular activities. I know I benefited from it as a child, all the clubs and stuff. How can you make sure that the funding and the programs stay alive for those children and to keep them to keep children going to that, and also our ROTC programs? There's been amazing.
I love that we talk about ROTC. We have 22 junior ROTC programs. We're the largest in the nation. At Centennial, we have over 300 kids that are junior ROTC. And then when you say arts, we have the largest music and arts program in the nation. So that means it is amazing that we do, and to protect that, those are in the budgets. And again, that was the last thing that we would need to cut, because if we put it, I'd rather see a kid have an instrument in their hand than a weapon in their hand. And then our mariachi program, we're the world's largest. We have over 8,600 kids that do mariachi. Isn't that amazing? I mean, and we're very multicultural with bands, orchestra, movie, you name it, production. We have some amazing things at the Clark County School District.
And one last question, the zero tolerance policy, a lot of kids make stupid choices, and sometimes they'll like make a Pop-Tart into a gun, and they ban them from school. There needs to be more parental involvement and maybe some leniency as children make mistakes. What is your stance on the zero tolerance policies and about keeping kids out of school?
We have a bullying policy that prohibits zero bullying. It's not working, and that's the legislators. They think that just because they put a law down doesn't mean that the kid's gonna. We tell you not to speed, right? Guess what? How many people speed? So just because there's a law there doesn't make people, and it's a sad thing.
Case by case.
Case by case. We have to look at these things. Again, when you start down that road, remember it's the choices that we make. It's not the choice that the school district made. It's not the choice that the teacher made or the admin. It's the child that makes, and it comes from where? The home, and we want to help that out. We have programs to help moms and dads, single moms and dads, married moms and dads, to help them be a better parent. I've heard somebody say that we should give like a little CD when that child's born, and just having services, because there's parents that don't know how to be a parent.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know what? And that hurts the society. Again, and we have to be careful when we do that. Because that child suffers if it doesn't have a good parent in their life or a mentor. And these are the things we've asked for more as mentors, a mentorship program. Mentors make a difference in a child's life, even in an adult's life if you have a great mentor. Mm-hmm. And these are statistics that work, and we need to start implementing, just not saying it.
Nice, thank you.
You guys have any more questions?
Yep. This is Mitchell T. Tracy. I was your moderator for today. Also a candidate for Clark County Commission District F. We'd like again thank our panel. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Ron Q for Clark County Treasurer, Michael Broadway Real Estate, Real Water, Lakeside Business Suites, and Kevin L. Child. We're going to go ahead and give you this last 2 minutes to go ahead and close.
Again, panelists, thank you for doing this. I know it's some very important work. So as being a trustee of the Clark County School District, let me leave you with this one. And some of the stuff that we did, I've already talked about it. We have a great school district. We just need to be tweaked. I've asked for an audit on the school district so we would have more transparency. It was fought with other board members. I think it's going to be done. We're going to have a new superintendent coming up. And again, I care about the quality of education when your child comes through that class, that door, that they're getting some of the best quality education. Like I said, we have some of the top magnet schools in the nation. We have some of the best CTE schools. We have the largest music and arts program in the nation. We have amazing things, and all you have to do is be involved in your child's life if you're going to be a parent. And I always tell people, I said, you can play a victim the rest of your life, or you can be responsible. But victims let life happen to them, responsible people make life happen. And these are what we need to start training our kids, to not live in a victim society, and they can take a hold of their own life if we put the right people in a classroom and we value our teachers. If we don't value our students, if we don't value our teachers, we won't value our students. We have to elevate our teachers. We have to. We can't always look at them and shake your finger how bad they are. Because if you're shaking your finger at them, you got 3 fingers pointing back at you. So again, I'm here, my number is out there. I just got a new number, I'll give it to you guys later. I just got a cell phone from the district because of the law. But anyways, I really appreciate each and every one of you, again, for being here. And again, have a great day. God bless you guys.